I just got this new little shirt. I love roses. I love roses on clothes. Like, give me a rose dress. I just feel my sexiest in roses. Isn't that the weirdest? Let me start out first by saying thank you so much for coming to my channel, Pack Mom. I am Diana Piquet. I'm a mother of 5. I am remarried. We have a blended family. I just actually celebrated my 4-year date anniversary with my new husband, and we went on a hike and got lost, but that's a whole nother story. But it made me think about ways to keep your relationship or your marriage strong. You've got to be able to carve out and dedicate time together. The way that Thomas and I do it is that we end up going on date nights almost once a week. We try and at least do it once a week. And occasionally we miss or whatever, but it's just such a nice time to sort of like reconnect. Occasionally, if we can't find a sitter, we end up taking the baby with us, but ideally it would just be the 2 of us. One night we went out to Long Beach and there was just huge waits and we weren't really that interested in food. And we ended up renting the Lime, I think it's called Lime or Bird scooters, and scootering all in those like back areas of like Naples and Long Beach. And it was just super fun, and just, I felt like a kid with him. I felt like a 17-year-old on a date with him. So it's important to carve out that time away from work, away from the kids, away from your responsibilities for your parents or whatever it is, and really dedicate that to keeping your marriage strong. Because if you're keeping your marriage strong, everything else is kind of under that umbrella of the marriage. And if something falls apart in that umbrella, everything else under it really is affected. So I'm really such a huge advocate for doing your best to do everything you can to pour yourself into your marriage. The second thing for sure would be that I feel like it's really important to share responsibilities and tasks. So I do see people that it's like the woman is like going to Costco and unloading the car by herself, and you know, doing the lion's share of the chores around the house. And that's tough, guys. That's really tough for a woman to do all that work. And there are guys that do that as well. I really feel like it's important for everyone to pitch in and try and make it so you're sharing those tasks and responsibilities. And if you do see your partner struggling with something, like, hey, how can I pitch in to get this done? So turning to each other in crisis can be such a valuable tool. Life is life, right? So we're gonna go through the death of people that we love, and sick kids, and illness, and loss of jobs, and all those kind of things that are crisis for us. And oftentimes when we go through a crisis, you come through the other side stronger. But what can really help in your marriage is if when there is a crisis, that's the person that you turn to. Like, it can really bond you more strongly if you're turning to your spouse rather than turning to someone at work or turning to a girlfriend or whatever. Again, carve out that time, get together, and really take the time to sort of like support each other through what the other person is going through. It really can make or break a relationship, really, because if you get to the point where you'd rather talk to your girlfriend than talk to your husband, or you'd rather talk to your mother or someone else, you know, you're really heavily bonding with someone else, when that's a really great opportunity for you to be turning to your spouse and getting that support from your spouse. Oh, trust. So trust is so huge, and it's so hard because once it gets broken, it's a really difficult thing to build back. But if you can protect that trust and really put such a value on the fact that whatever is tempting out there or whatever might tempt you is just not worth it to break the trust of your marriage. So that could be big things like an affair, or it could be little things like just talking with someone else in a way that's really not appropriate. So trust is such, oh my gosh, it's like the little baby of your marriage that you've just got to protect, because once it gets dropped, it's like, it's so hard to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? Like, it's so hard to get trust back. I've tried it, it's near impossible. So then there's forgiveness. So in my marriage, we have squabbles. We had a squabble last night. We were both really, really tired, and none of our big girls were helping with the baby, and the baby was pulling down stuff. She's getting to that height where she can reach these countertops, and she's like, oh, a knife, whatever, you know. So he was frustrated and I was frustrated, and I snapped at him and he snapped back. But if you can very quickly just walk out and say, hey babe, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have talked to you like that. It's so much oh gosh, it's such a better idea to just do that and get it over with and clean that up in your relationship and not sweat the small stuff than it is to let that carry on and fester and make you mad and carry on hurt. You know, I said I was sorry and he's like, I'm sorry too, and it just kind of is over. And I think if you can have forgiveness in your relationship, that he's a human who gets tired and impatient and sick of all the freaking 5 kids in this house, and I'm the same way. So all we are is just humans trying to get by. So if you can look at it like that and have a lot of forgiveness in your heart and a lot of empathy for your spouse, that's a really, really big deal. This is a big one, supporting each other's dreams. So I am a big dreamer. I'm a big what if. I have all of these crazy ideas. And it's really important for me to have someone that will listen to my dreams. And I know he's the same way. One of his big dreams is he wants to have a Tesla. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend who has a Tesla came over yesterday, and he and her went out and test drove it with the girls. And oh, he was talking about it. Oh, it's got this big slit in it where the air comes out and it parks itself. I'm all for a Tesla when we don't have a 7-person family living in this house. We literally have 7 people. We have a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 2-year-old baby. So there's no way we're fitting in a Tesla. Plus, I don't know if you've seen my 160-pound dog Goliath. So that's one of his dreams, and I'm super excited for him when we have a 12-year-old only living here in the house. But it's not happening right now. And then my last one, put your phone down, put your book down, turn your TV off, and make time for your spouse in the evening. I guarantee you, if all of that, like, if you can make peace in the house, if you can serve dinner a little earlier, tidy up, whatever it is that takes your stress level down, put work to the side, and get in the bedroom with your spouse, you're gonna get a lot more action if you actually put your phone down and turn towards your spouse and just talk and make time for each other. Sometimes I just am amazed by like how much life there is. Like, oh my gosh. And that doesn't matter if you have 1 kid or you have, 7 kids. There's just a lot of life going on. And you can't always let everything else, all the kids' sports and their activities and their volunteer opportunities and their grades that have fallen through and what friends have decided that they're gay or straight or whatever, like all that stuff, there's a lot of that going on. But if you want to keep your marriage strong, you still have to be able to make time for the 2 of you on a regular basis. And so that's probably one of the most important ones. And I'm not just talking about date night, I'm talking about in the bedroom. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything that works for you to keep your marriage strong, I'd love to hear about it. And I would have loved to have my husband on this video talking too, because I know he has some great things to add. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.